Hey, these guys.
I love
That's
it,
the
man.
best mood.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I know so many of you are going to head out and do some fishing. It is time for the morning briefing. We're going to get you up to date on everything going on. Good morning, my friends. That is so good. You know, I'll tell you, a cup of coffee in the morning, what could be better than that? To get the blood flowing, to get things rocking and rolling. And man, I got to tell you, we talked about some really nasty weather yesterday, and we talked about how water temperatures might plummet. It might spell the end of our season. And that didn't last long at all because it came roaring right back, and we see all the right signs and signals. And it sounds like this season is a long way from over. I don't know what's going to kill it this year. Perhaps it's going to be the holidays when we just run out of people who want to go sport fishing, but fishing is still really, really good. Is it 100% of the time that you go out and make a catch? Of course not. It never is, but it's darn good fishing, and we've got a lot to talk to you about. Don't forget to hit that like button. Man, I tell you, so many of you take the time to hit the thumbs up, and it really helps us a lot here at Friedman Adventures. You are doing your part to help us produce more content and to really expand this channel next year. We have plans to make it really a great outdoor channel with fishing and travel and so much more. And by hitting that thumbs up, it helps us so much. All right, let me start you south of the border in Ensenada, where I like to start and talk about things that are going on down there because there is some good signal down there. Our friend Victor from Bluefin Sport Fishing checked in, and he said, Phil, I got to tell you, we went down to the lower 500, and we checked that out. Captain Russo went down there, and boy, did we find a lot of life. We found copious amounts of dolphin, pods of them, and holding yellowfin tuna, some really good yellowfin tuna fishing. A lot of fish on the troll down there, so that was biting well. They went down to a spot called the lower 500 and also the Peanut Bank, and those areas were producing good yellowfin tuna and nice grade too, as you can see. Really beautiful grade yellowfin tuna, so that is great news. 68-degree water, so a little bit on the cooler side for yellowfin tuna, but not really. They'll hang in that. They prefer a little bit warmer, but the yellowfin tuna, have got to take what the environment gives them right now, and that's not quite cold enough to send them back scurrying to Acapulco somewhere south of the border. So nice fishing down there. If you're fishing bait on these fish, and the vast majority for Victor and Blackfin down there in Ensenada, beautiful Puna Banda, we're on the troll, but if you want 25 and 40 pound fluorocarbon, www.opsonusa.com. That's what you want to be fishing with, and hook sizes from number 2 to number 2 or to a 2.0 size hook, and that goes for the San Diego fleet also. Now, San Diego fleet, those guys leaving in the morning, coming back in the evening, have had their troubles, but I think they're going to be back into fish here really, really soon. Some guys like the San Diego out of Seaforth, they are fishing the Coronado Islands starting November the 1st, which is right around the corner, as you well know. And the islands have been good. I'll talk about that in a moment. But we had some really good yellowfin tuna scores. I thought we would get back on that YFT. I told you that. I didn't know that it was going to happen this fast, but it did. The tribute out of San Diego with phenomenal yellowfin tuna fishing. I mean, the fish came to the corner, and they wanted to chew the paint off the boat. In fact, they were biting the 100-pound mono. That is always a gauge about the intensity of the bite. If you can get them to eat the really heavy line, that tells you that they are freaking wide open. Great fishing going on, and they're eating the iron, they're eating the bait, they're eating everything you threw at them. Something tells me if you tossed a pickle out there, like the old days on the sand bass, you might catch a YFT. Tremendous fishing going on there on the tribute. Pacifica, limits of yellowfin tuna with 140 yellowfin tuna, 9 bluefin, 3 dorado, 16 yellowtail. A lot of the kelp patty yellowtail, as we described to you yesterday, are really small down there. The island yellowtail, however, are big, the Coronado Island yellowtail. So there are some nice fish. Ranger 85, 23 anglers on a 3-day trip, 345 yellowfin tuna, 24 dorado, 17 bluefin tuna. That is really good fishing, and the great news is the weather down the Baja coast while it may get a little wind, it's overall beautiful right now. It's gorgeous weather, and that bodes well for future catches on this YFT, and we might even see more and more Dorado. You find the right kelp in the right water temperature. In other words, if you find a kelp and it's in cooler water, those Dorado are not going to be on it. But if you find a kelp and it's in that 68 plus degree water, you've got a really good chance of scoring some flatheads along with everything else. So really excellent fishing for the day and a half, and better boats, overnight boats also have the range to get in on this, and those boats leaving in the morning, fishing in the afternoon, are going to fish islands, and I still think they're going to get back into this offshore bite here really, really soon, because it is improving with this weather. We had that blow and it was severe, and it is starting to head in the right direction. Now, the bluefin tuna area, you know, out there near San Clemente, Tanner Bank, all those areas, that's where it had all that wind, and it got nasty out there, and it got improved in a hurry because the Thunderbird out of Davies Lock in Newport Beach, they are so hot on a regular basis. They had 14 bluefin tuna. So here it comes roaring back, but that's not all of it. 13 of those fish over 100 pounds, one over 200 pounds. That is flat, great fishing. So that's alive again. It's only going to get better. Fishing knife jigs, those 200 to 500 grams are the way to go at night. In the daytime, you know, you got to get them to bite the heaviest line you can. That's why you use fluorocarbon. That's why you choose a good high bait, 40 to 60 pound on the fluoro, and hopefully you'll get bit on that, because that will make all the difference in the world. So things are rapidly headed in the right direction, looking really, really good. All right, islands, I'm going to run through this kind of quick because I've got to run off and do something here this morning. But islands, down there, Todos Santos, there's some yellows off Ensenada and Bonita. Coronado Islands have consistently produced great yellowtail fishing. It's been excellent there on 12 to 20-pound yellowtail, yo-yo iron, and dropper loop fishing good. Clemente has some yellows, but there's still the Navy shelling the island. They closed some parts of the island down. The offshore region's much better. Santa Barbara, the weather's coming down. There's been some yellows there. Great rock fishing in the Channel Islands. It's been really, really good up there with the occasional halibut, sea bass, and a lot of squid moving into our coast right now. So that bodes well also for some possibilities of sea bass and halibut and other predators. It really makes the spring look great. I know I'm looking way ahead right now, but all this squid is a magnet that brings predators in, and then that bite manifests itself several months later in many, many cases. All right, along the coast, mostly rockfish and sculpin, that kind of a thing, and fishing from the beach. You can catch a spot fin croaker here and there, and a halibut. Surf fishing, not all that bad, still looking good. All right, sorry for racing through, but I've got to run off, got an early meeting this morning. I'll be back with lots more. I think we're going to do a special tackle tip later today. I'm working with Sam De La Torre. I'll let you know about that, but make sure you check back with the channel, or make sure you're subscribed so when new content becomes available, you're notified, and then you can enjoy. Thanks again, everybody. Really, really appreciate it. You have my heartfelt thanks. Hit that thumbs up, and I hope to see you really, really soon.